San Diego. I'll be at the Grand Comedy Club Friday, October 3rd. Get your tickets now on my website at ryansickler.com.
The HoneyDew with Ryan Sickler.
Welcome back to the HoneyDew, y'all. We're over here doing it in the Night Pants Studios. I'm Ryan Sickler. Thank you for watching this show. Thank you for supporting anything I do. I say it every week when I start these episodes, and I genuinely mean it. And if you guys got to have more, then you got to have the Patreon. It's called the HoneyDew with y'all, and y'all have the wildest stories on the internet. It's only $5 a month. And if you or someone you know has a story that has to be heard, please submit it to us at honeydewpodcast@gmail.com. We would love to do your story. All right, that's it. You guys know what we do here. We highlight the lowlights, and I always say that these are the stories behind the storytellers. I am very excited to have this guest here. First time on the HoneyDew. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Darrell Hammond. Welcome to the HoneyDew, Darrell Hammond. Let me give you some love, brother.
Do you play a sound effects track?
No.
It's just you clapping?
It's just me genuinely clapping with excitement for you in the studio.
That's cool, man. Happy to be here. I'm flattered, actually.
Thank you for being here. Before we get into what we're going to talk about, please promote everything and anything you like. That's you right there. That's us.
Promote? You want me to promote it?
Yeah.
Cray, C-R-A-Y on Audible. It's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest meets The King's Speech at Saturday Night Live.
That's a fantastic long line.
That'll give you an idea of what's going on. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest meets King's Speech at Saturday Night Live.
And that's where now?
It's on Audible.
On Audible.
Yeah.
And I'd love to, because look, the story of Cray is basically your life story.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get that version right here today, please?
You'd have to prod me, but
I'd love to prod you.
I wouldn't know where to begin.
I'll ask. Where are you from originally?
Melbourne, Florida.
Melbourne, Florida. All right. And how many siblings do you have?
I have one sister.
Okay. Older or younger?
Older.
All right. And mom and dad, are they together when you're young? Do they split?
They were together, I guess you could call it. I wouldn't say happily together, but they stayed together.
So the old school marriage thing, like stay together because
of the kids.
Yeah. What age do they split?
They never split. Both have deceased.
They stayed together the whole time, even though they weren't happy?
Yes.
They did.
I don't think they were happy. I don't think they would tell you they were happy. But, I mean, it was a very religious Bible Belt kind of place where you just didn't do it.
Were your parents religious Bible Belt people, or they just didn't want to go against what was going on?
My father had his own ideas about God, which he didn't care for church. But after fighting Nazis and seeing them in person and have them try to kill him and him trying to kill them, and his ideas about verifiable evil in this world and almost biblical evil.
So he was in World War II.
Yeah.
And he shared these stories with you?
Many times over when he'd get into the Beefeater gin, he would tell us stories about smearing brains on his face during a battle. Like,
what?
Yeah.
How old are you when you're hearing this?
11.
Oh my God, Darrell.
The best story he told to me.
Darrell! I'm 52 and I'm freaked out here and smearing brains on my face. You're 11 hearing this and he's just telling you.
Oh, the best story was when he would tell when he really got knee deep and like really dangerously drunk on Beefeater gin, which is a wonderful gin, by the way. But I don't think you're supposed to drink that much of it. But
how much is he consuming?
I mean, he'd get halfway through a bottle.
He would.
Like I've had Beefeater martinis, which is, I don't think there's anything better on this earth.
Is that right? That's your drink?
Beefeater,
was?
Yeah. Except towards the end, I stopped trying to drink something because I thought it tasted good, or I just got straight into the Jaeger, which is almost like mainlining heroin for me.
Is it? Jaeger is?
Yeah.
Always it's like a cough medicine to me. I could never.
I know it tastes.
It's an acquired taste.
Do you
for
curse
sure.
on this show at all?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So it has a shitty taste, but it gets you drunk real fast. And for a guy like me who had a broken heart over a couple of things, I didn't want to fuck around. Like, I don't want to wait 8 hours to get drunk. Let's get it done now. Let's get it done real quick. I know why I'm here. And Jaeger is certainly a fine product, but again, I was misusing it. I was using it to get oblivious as quickly as I could, you know.
So wait, let's go back to your dad, the craziest one. You were going to tell us the story.
He had a German Luger, so you could tell what kind of mood he was in. If he came out of the bedroom with a baseball glove, he had an old timey baseball glove, which he dearly loved, and he also had a German Luger. So if he came out with the baseball glove, it's going to be a good day. If he came out with a German Luger, means he'd been having nightmares the night.
That's gosh. I mean,
you could tell he'd come out with a Luger because you could hear him scream in his sleep.
So you knew what was coming the next day. He's having literal night terrors. Before we're recording, we're talking about our bullshit. This man's.
He used to talk about he'd been, at that point he was, this is even towards the end of his life. He would talk about how he's pretty old. He's in his 80s. He's seen a lot of stuff, but he never saw anything like the eyes of a Nazi. And he just was convinced that this was not about patriotism or protecting a country, or not even a conscript soldier. Like, for instance, he had a lot of respect for Korean soldiers because they were soldiers. But these cats, they were into something else.
I see.
And their eyes haunted him till his death, at 88. And he fought them when he was in his early 20s.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a young man doing this.
Never left him.
And he's telling you these stories in detail like that.
Yeah, I mean, what had happened was there was a battle where everyone around them, they got the shit shot out of them. And there were Nazis walking through looking for bodies, and everyone appeared to be dead, and he wanted to appear to be dead, so he smeared his face with brains to stay alive.
You know what's not for me? The military.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've known since I was a little kid, like, that's not for me. It's just not for me.
And also, he was an 18-year-old boy when he joined up, and because he thought that was the thing to do. And
did he join, or
he joined?
He wasn't drafted then. He was like, I'm doing this.
No, he'd heard about Hitler, and he wanted to fight Hitler. He didn't know what Hitler was.
Gotcha.
It's like any young man, like, yo, I'm going to defend the country and all that. They didn't really understand what they were walking into. And then, I mean, he grew up in Florida, went to Palmacia Methodist Church, baseball player in Tampa, Florida. He's a good kid. And they drove him nuts. They drove him out of his mind. Seeing the things that he saw.
I can't even imagine.
Seeing, there was this one kid who was developmentally challenged, but he was loved by the men. And somehow when the shooting started, he freaked and he wandered off from where they were, and he was picked up by the Nazis, and they hung him from the tree in front of them, and the men had to lay down there and watch the kid be hung, and they hung him very badly, so that there was a lot of struggle. And I once heard someone say, if you're not committing atrocities in war, if you're not committing atrocities, you're losing. You're losing. So there's that story. Well, anyway.
Now, what's mom doing?
Church.
Is she just taking care of the family and stuff, or does she have a job as well, or does she work at the church?
She didn't have a job until later, well, that's not true. I think by the time I was like 8 or 9 years old, she was working as a gray lady at the elementary school, and I don't know that that they paid those women.
What's a gray lady?
Nurse.
Oh, okay.
In the clinic.
So she's helping out at the school then.
Yeah. Later, I'd say when I got into my teens, she took a job as a secretary. She went to secretarial school.
So with all the
the German Luger story.
Yeah.
Watching this mascot being hung like that deliberately so that he suffered for a while and didn't die for a while. He killed somebody. He got medals, and you get a medal in the war. It's not for shaking hands. He killed people, and he took a German Luger off a Nazi and took it home with him. And so when he was in the gin, he would say, I shot him. I mean, he's just point blank range. And goddamn it, I hope I'll go to hell because I know he's in hell. And what I want to do to him will be legal in hell.
You know what?
It's like,
I've never hated someone so much that I thought, you know what? I want to go to the shitty place you go so I can see you again and put my...
I know you're going to hell and I'm coming after you.
Yeah.
Because what I want to do is going to be legal down there. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
So then you're seeing all this as a small child. What's your first sip of alcohol? What is your first step into addiction? And how old are you?
When I was 14, I drank 2 Busch beers, and it was life went from black and white and desperate to in living color and pleasant and comfortable, unforgettable. We were kids, and the kids would go, I don't know where the hell they got beer, but they had a 6-pack of Busch, and I drank 2 of them, and it was certainly the greatest experience of my life.
You loved it.
Yeah, I didn't feel...
That was your first sip of alcohol or anything?
Yeah.
Had you ever... I wanted to ask you this, because a lot of I talked to people on our other show, the Wayback. A lot of times people's first buzz was dip or snuff or anything. Did you ever try any of that before drinking?
Not before drinking, but no. I did do dip, and
you get that's a different kind of buzz.
Yeah. And there were kids. Baseball was my life, and there were kids that chewed tobacco while they played, but I couldn't do that. What if I swallowed it?
Yeah,
and also, it would buzz me a little,
for sure.
Which I love being buzzed, but not while I'm facing a fastball or not while I'm trying to hit a curveball. Right.
So you have 2 Busch beers, and then what? Is it on from there, or do you slowly get into this, or is it we're doing this?
Very slowly. And when I was 14, when I was 15 or 16, the kids, and I mean good kids who never got in trouble in the law and had good grades and went to college and but they're kids, and they would drink tall boys, 16-ounce tall boys, and brother, I've never tasted anything better than a 16-ounce Budweiser. Sorry.
Don't say sorry.
And I've eaten in the best.
I love it. Because earlier you were like, man, I have a Beefeater Gin Martini, but Budweiser's what got you in.
Well, I never drank a martini without a Bud. I mean, come on.
Oh, really?
Oh, no.
Oh, it's a chaser?
I liked the Boilermaker effect. And later on, Beefeater got too... if I drank Beefeater, there was no chance of socializing. And I would drink it.
Like at home?
If I drank Jack Daniels, it was a possibility. So I drank whiskey. So I got into, a beer and I love Jamie and I love Jack. Those were beautiful. Yeah.
What was your first liquor? So you're hitting beer at first. You're having Busch and Bud. What's the first liquor you had?
The first time I got drunk was when I went over to Buford's house. He's the offensive tackle and I'm the quarterback. And we were just going to hang out and do what stupid kids do when you're 14. You got no moves you can make. And he got the guy across the street, I won't say his name, who was a teenager, to buy us Seagram 7. So we didn't know anything about it. And he took 2 highball glasses and poured them almost to the top with Seagram 7.
Oh my God.
Splashed it with ginger ale so it would taste good. And we drank them. We drank probably 3 or 4 ounces, like bup, 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 bup. And the next thing I know, the quarterback of the Melbourne High School JV football team and the all-state defensive tackle were slow dancing. Okay.
Slow dancing.
We slow danced.
So what? Do you know?
I don't know. It was something like, I don't know what I don't know what this song was, but we were slow. I don't even know if there was a song.
That's fucking hilarious.
We're
It's
slow
even
dancing.
better. There's no song. You guys just hugging it out and dancing.
Yeah.
I love that it's burned in there too, dude.
Oh yeah, unforgettable
That's fucking
stuff.
Great. That's great.
So after that, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. After that,
Well, then mostly I just hung out with the guys and and tried to get people to buy us beer, and we'd give them extra beer. And then there was always the guy. There was Leeland at the gas station who was had a misshapen head and sort of a twisted leer, like his eyes. The eyes didn't quite seem to belong to the same person, like the 2 different eyes.
yeah.
And he always seemed to have a dab of mayonnaise at the corner of his mouth.
Oh,
Yes, no
Oh.
kidding. No kidding. Can't write this.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And we would
I've never heard it. Hold on. I've never heard anyone call it a dab of mayonnaise. It is the perfect.
he always seemed to have a dab of
fucking-
mayonnaise at the corner of his mouth. I don't know.
So-
He would sell us beer because he wanted to talk to us. He correctly understood that we were quote unquote jocks. We were ball players.
Mm-hmm.
And he used to say, we'd ask him how he's doing. He's like, I need to get me some pussy. No, he'd say, I need to get me some strange.
Strange.
Have you ever heard of strange?
Oh, yeah.
We're like, great. See ya. I need to get me some strange. Oh, yeah. But it was so impassioned. It was so impassioned. It's like, how am I doing? Buddy? I need to get me some strange.
That's a promo.
He was so into it.
He sounds like he was out of it, actually. He needed to get into that strange.
Yeah, I think someone had hit him at some point. You're thinking about you're walking around the gas station all day long and you can't stop thinking about it. Need to get me some strange.
So at what point, let's dive into a little bit of Cray here. At what point do you realize you're struggling now with alcohol? It's a problem. How old are you at that point?
Well, to begin Cray, you have to begin when I was 19 years old and I was drinking beer with my friends and as if by a prearranged plan, as if there had been a program in me that at some point would enact itself. It would fire. We were at this beautiful party on the beach, dancing, with girls, pretty girls, surfers, you know what I mean? It was just a really pleasant scene, playing music. I like an automaton. I just rose from where we were, and I walked into the kitchen, and I went to the silverware drawer and pulled out a serrated steak knife. A serrated steak knife is important in the story. Don't know why I pulled. Like, my mind didn't even know. My hand just found it. And then I went upstairs and cut myself for the first time. I think you can still see it. Can you still see that there?
Yeah.
That one?
You just stabbed, cut?
Serrated steak knife, cut it. Had no idea why. And significance, it's the stitches.
Yeah.
I mean, down there, they didn't stitch you up for a little cut. It bled terribly, cutting right in there. When I was 25, I remember waking up in this SRO in New York City. And I realized that I hadn't been sober in a year, even though I'd been waiting tables. And I had a lot to drink about.
Literally every day.
Well, after work.
I
was young and strong. I was still strong at 25. And I would wait tables. We'd all go out and get drunk, get up and do it again. It had been a year since I had not had a sober night in a year. I don't. Alcohol is the smoke. It's the symptom that there's a fire, and I wouldn't get to what that fire was until much later in life.
What finally took you there?
Sorry. I have 53 self-inflicted wounds, and
all from knives.
I guess occasionally I would use something other than. I only used the serrated steak knife the first time
For cutting.
Yeah, serrated.
You've
steak.
never done anything crazy like shot yourself in the foot or anything like that. That's what I'm getting at here.
No,
this is all cutting.
From the age of 19 until the age of 50, I went to a series of doctors who hadn't the faintest idea what the fuck was wrong with me. And I'm talking about real doctors, not punks, Park Avenue doctors. No one could understand what was wrong with me. And they started throwing out the usual suspects.
Which are what? What are they?
Bipolar.
Okay.
Yeah. Complex PTSD mirrors bipolar. They look a lot alike. You get upset for no reason. I can't understand why I'm upset. Suddenly I'm enraged. Well, that's what complex PTSD is, which we could get into that on another program if you want, because it's
like to, yeah.
It's kind of involved, But when I finally cut myself so bad that when they took me to the hospital, the cut was so deep that the doctors could no longer say, this is Cornell Hospital in New York, they could no longer say he's just a cutter. He's not really trying to hurt himself. He's doing just cuts. Well, this was savage. This was the kind where meat blossoms from the cut, like the meat in the middle of your arm bubbles up and comes out.
That
like
pink.
It was a savage cut. So they reasoned, you know what? We've been wanting them to send him to the nut house for a long time, and there's a great one upstate, and they sent me there.
What age are you at this point?
50-something, 51.
That's when they sent you.
Maybe 50, into my 50s.
Can I ask you this quick question before we get back to the hospital they send you to? What did you like about cutting yourself?
There's a couple of reasons, a couple things. It's a way of creating a crisis that's manageable as opposed to the crisis in your head. Blanket terror. I don't know if you know terror. Do you? Terror. You can't talk. You can't move. Like a rabbit freezing in front of a snake. Terror. So I could create a crisis that was manageable.
I see.
And it diverted me.
I can fix this. I can heal
this. And it would break
this.
the spell, the thing that was going on in my head. And what was going on in my head was a series of flashbacks. A series of, I'd see red, I heard pounding. It was real psycho shit,
And for years you're going through this.
Well, I'm going to the doctor. They don't know what the hell's wrong with me.
But I'm saying you would see the flashbacks for years and everything.
Yeah, and then when I would cut, it would go away.
Okay, so cutting was actually a solution, not a problem.
Yes.
With the way you're using it.
Yeah, because I mean, if you look, you can see the cuts.
Yeah.
I was never really trying to kill myself.
But you also was never about like it actually feels good. This was more of about like if I do this, I can fix this and it stops this.
If anything, it felt bad because it so mimics because there's something going in you don't want going in. And then something comes out you don't want either. It mimics that sort of thing when a child is forced into involuntary sex and they don't even know what it is.
And did that happen to you?
Well, yeah.
When did you realize that?
Oh, you're getting ahead of ourselves.
Okay, wait, let's go to the hospital first, because
So we're
now
in the
they're sending you
hospital.
to the hospital.
And the doctor said, he comes in, this is Dr. K, and he's 50, 100 years ahead of his time. And he walks in, he's like, let me see, you are schizophrenic, you are bipolar, unipolar, you are manic depressive, you are psychotic, you are a borderline personality. Let's face it, you are a nut. And I was like, ha ha. He was just trying to, I was like, he said, I'm laughing, Darrell, because you're not any of these things.
Right, I get it.
And these are
what they've been telling you for years.
Well, what are they
You're
going
all
to do?
these-
What are they
right.
going to do in the emergency room? They
Right.
can only keep you for 24 hours. So they're like, well, it's got to be one of these.
Mm-hmm.
How come he keeps cutting himself? The guy's on TV. He's not a major star, but at that time was a bit of a star. I'm meeting presidents, working with them.
Are you working on SNL at the time?
Yes.
How are you keeping that fucking secret and hidden? Do you demand to wear long sleeves on all your sketches?
No.
If I go back and look at any old SNL sketches, are you ever in short sleeves?
I don't think so, but there is a picture of me when I was in a dress. I was playing a woman. If you see the movie, the documentary Cracked Up, they isolated a scene where I was out there, and you could see that I was cut.
You could.
I also cut before my first Gore debate, Bush Gore debate.
Like how, when you say before, how long before? Minutes?
Hour, 2 hours.
Are you serious?
Yes.
And is that to help yourself
To stabilize me so I can go out there.
Wow.
And hit that
Okay,
home run.
so he says I'm laughing because you're none of these things, he says to you.
Yeah. I'm laughing because you're none of these things. And I said, maybe my brain is broken. And he's like, you cannot do what you have done hundreds of times in front of millions of people flawlessly with a broken brain. And then he gets down to it and he blows my mind. He goes, you're here because of something that happened to you. We're not blocking an enzyme. We're not playing that game. You're in this room tonight because of something that happened to you.
I like this guy.
And I'm like, it was my Hallelujah chorus moment. And he said, and this is the centerpiece of the play. He says, mental illness is not an airborne virus. It comes from somewhere specific. It has a story. We're going to learn your story. I'm like, what the fuck? I couldn't believe it, And
I mean, I'm 52 right now, and I'm even thinking to myself, if a doctor's saying this to me, I'm going to be a little bit of like, what are we talking? How I'm going to learn new shit now all of a sudden? Yeah, like what are you talking about? Yeah, help me out here, bud. Yeah.
Well, to crack me open, because all the doctors were trying to crack me open. To crack me open, he used colors. I have synesthesia.
Oh, you do? Okay.
So I color code everything. And if I can't color code it, for instance, I can't understand it.
So for those that don't know, synesthesia is part of it. I've read a little bit about memory and things too, but you can explain a song to me in a color. This sounds blue to me, or
all
yellow.
of my SNL characters had colors.
Okay.
And I don't know why people used to wonder why I was making colors on my pages. Different colors, because every person that I had a different color. For instance, I couldn't do math, and they sent me to this experimental class where we broke down numbers into colors. And when that happened, I could do math.
You saw it. I'm a huge Hendrix super freak, and I know that he was that way as well with music. And then his engineer, Eddie Kramer, was the same. So he met someone that was, when he would say, hey, I'm hearing this orange, he was like, got it. And he was like, yes. And I'm like, man, you need that if you're going to have that. You know, like that's brilliant to be able to communicate that. This sounds red to me. So, okay, so he starts using colors. And what does that do for you?
Who, the doctor? Well, he's just fiddling around at first. He comes in, he's like, I'd like to try something. And he says, what color was Porky the Pig? I'm like, yellow. Bugs Bunny. Aqua. Geraldo Rivera.
What color is
he did.
What color is he?
He's black with streaks of light blue.
And that's really how you saw Bugs Bunny?
All of them.
And no one had ever asked you
Pee Wee
that.
Herman, green. You know, Bill Clinton, orange. George Bush, brown. Yeah. And then he says...
Can I ask you, I know people are going to yell at me for interrupting you, but had you ever communicated that to anybody ever before? Had you ever said, when you see Bill Clinton, do you see orange? Did you ever talk?
No. I knew I was a freak.
You knew. But this is the first person introducing color to you and asking you this.
This is the first person that understood what synesthesia was. And I knew I was a freak in that way.
Okay.
Everything had a color.
So once he figures
or it
that
didn't
out.
happen. Okay. So he goes to what was the last one? Bugs Bunny, Porky Pig,
Pee Wee Herman,
Bill Clinton, George Bush. And at one point because remember, I'm having these flashbacks, right? And in the flashbacks, it was sort of I remember in a flashback, you're not seeing this in front of you. It's in your mind's eye. Right? You feel red. You feel it. And I had this thing about this sound. What was that? Every time, and then I would cut and the whole thing would go away. So there was always that sound. I don't know what it was. And this is boring, but it got more sophisticated over the years. So it became, instead of just red, it became a square with red in it. And then the red was a lava lamp, so you have a square with red. Anyway, so he says, "Are any of the characters red?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "No red," and I told him, I'm like, "I don't like it. I don't know why I don't like it. I don't like it. I mean, I don't have to like it. I don't have to know why I don't like it. I just don't like red." And he said, "What color was the house you grew up in?" I'm like, "Beige." The furniture inside, beige. Everything was beige. The yard was light green because the sand from the beach would blow.
Oh, yeah, Florida.
Even from 2 miles away, we had lots of sand in our yard because that Atlantic Ocean is a very strong wind. So it was just very, very bland. And then he says, "Where was the red?" And I'm like, "There was no red. There was no red." He's like, then he gets like all freaky on me. He's like, "But there has to be."
You sure there wasn't a Nazi flag?
And I'm going, I'm going, how does, like, he was so fucking hypnotized, but no, he goes, "But there has to be red." I was like, "Oh, you mean like, what, you mean like a flower?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, there was a hibiscus bush." And he flipped. He was like, "A hibiscus bush." You got a hibiscus bush. I'm like, "What is significant about here?" He says, "It says right here, Doctors 29 through 35, every time you have this quote unquote flashback in your mind, you see red, there's red in a window. And now you tell me there's a hibiscus bush in a window that's 2 miles from the windy sea. And now we're on our way. Freaky, right?
Mm-hmm.
That thumping, what was that? The hibiscus, the wind blowing from the ocean?
The window? Are you like inside looking
Yeah,
out or
and
outside
then-
looking in?
What he had to determine was who done it. He's like, I'm not going to block an enzyme and cure you. I'm not going to stop uptake of cells with Prozac and cure you. That's not going to work. If you can name it, you can tame it. We need to name it.
Oh, I've never heard that either. If you can name it, you can tame it. All right.
We
That's
need
a good
to-
saying.
We're going to find it, and we're going to tame it, right? So,
This is just one-on-one session with you and this doctor, huh?
well, he was
I feel like I'm talking to him right now.
He was very, very freaky, man. I mean, the way he could have a conversation with you, like one time he goes, I've noticed in your self-talk that you use a lot of absolutes. I've heard you say, nobody likes me more than once. I've heard you say, everybody hates me more than once. And I was like, yeah, everyone does kind of hate me. And he said, everybody? It's 5 billion people. I'm like, nah, that's not what I mean. He's like, well, you said everybody. How about 100 million people? Do 100 million people hate you? I'm like, stop. Come on. He's like, 50,000? I'm like, you're getting to me. 50,000? Do 25,000 people? I'm like, I'm not talking. He's like, how about 50? I go, maybe. You go, just that I can believe. he even had this one time where he came in and he said, permission to speak freely? And I said, no.
You did? You said no. I love that you said no.
Because every time he walked in the room, he dropped an atom bomb. I'm like, really, really tired.
It's just haymaker after haymaker, bro.
Yeah, just
give me a minute.
yeah. It's just like Tyson. Every day Tyson walks in,
Mike Tyson's
and hits you.
coming.
Like, he says, "Has anyone ever told you that you're an asshole?" I was like, "Yeah, I guess." He's like, "How many times today?" It's only 10 o'clock in the morning. It must have happened by now. I'm like, all right, I'm sorry. I had to apologize to him because I was an asshole.
Mm.
I mean, I'd say weird shit to him too. Like, I remember one time he said to me, I forget what we were talking about, but I said, hey, listen, pal, now you listen to me. All right, buddy? I don't know what you're telling me about this and that, and something happened to me and shit like that. I'm saying I've been on the most popular TV show of all time. You got that? I'm saying I've met 4 American presidents. They know me by my first name. Do you understand what I'm trying to bring out here? And you get getting up all in my face and shit. I know what I'm doing. And he said, do you? Where are your keys? I'm like, fuck? Like, no, I know he's fucking around again. I'm like, my keys. He's like, to your apartment. Where are the keys to your apartment? I was like, someone took them. He's like, who? Oh my God. Who? Who took your keys from you? I'm like, State of New York? The State of New York took your keys? Oh my God. So while you're dazzling them up on the high wire, as you have just described, the state of New York has taken your keys. I don't know about you, but I don't believe this is like a high five moment. Do you understand? I'm like, shut up. I mean, he was so smart. You couldn't beat him. You couldn't beat a person with a brain like that, right?
You also wonder how many different Darrell Hammonds have been in there, and every angle they've tried on this guy, he's probably seen.
You wouldn't believe who had, I won't say her name, but this major star, a woman who I've admired, had the same bed. She was there before me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, the cat.
It worked for her?
Yeah, it's a big psychiatric facility in upstate New York called The Haven, and it's got 14 separate psychiatric facilities for every mental disorder, known to man.
And by the way, how long are you in there?
3 months.
Okay.
Actually, I did, I think, 8 weeks there, and then they sent me to another one as a sort of, what do you call it? To sort of working me way back into society.
Like halfway house?
It wasn't a halfway house because there was a lot of therapy there, but it just wasn't this intense.
Gotcha.
So it was a 3-month experience.
So now he tells you this isn't a big high five moment here for you.
Yeah. So he probed. We had a housekeeper named Merdus who I adored. And, no one was paying attention to me back in those days. I'm talking about nobody was paying attention to me. I mean, you sit alone in that house hour after hour after hour and dust balls roaming aimlessly across the floor and no one's paying attention to me except her. And you can tell when you're being touched by someone who loves you. Am I right?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And she did. And I remember when, I don't know if I should give away, anyone can listen to Cray and you can hear what this is about. I'll just tell you how he worked up to it. He came in one day and said, tell me, her name was Merdus. He's like, he called her Mertice. Tell me about Mertice. I'm like, he's like, did you love her? I'm like, I did. Yeah. See? He's like, did she love you? I'm like, I thought she did, but it's like, my mom told me that I was this way, that I was mentally ill. He says, don't ever say mentally ill. It's mentally injured. You did not get this way by accident. This didn't suddenly occur. Something brought you here that was more powerful than you. So say mentally injured. Well, I said, all right. My mom told me I was mentally injured because Merdus would jump out of the closet at night and scare me. You could almost see him humming to himself. He says, where did Murty sleep? I'm like, what is that? What's that supposed to mean? He's like, where did Murty sleep? Did she sleep on a couch? Did she have her own room? Did she have a pallet on the floor where she lay? I said, Merdus didn't sleep. She went home every day at 5:00. And he says, then how can she jump out of the closet to scare you at night? That's when it broke open. Why would your mother tell you something like this? I remember this. I don't know if you've ever had this happen, but if you've ever gotten too drunk and you wake up the next day and you know you're going to throw up, you don't want, but it's coming. And that was when I realized that my lifelong search was about to end. Like, what had happened to me? What did happen? And he used a series of the theatrical exercises he already knew what had happened to find out what went down exactly.
You really believe when he, excuse me, you say he knew how early? You think when he walked in that room day one, he knew not maybe who or what, but what he was going to uncover?
Yes.
You do, huh?
Yeah. I don't think he knew if it was just sexual.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he knew it was just a beating, but something terrible had happened. There was trauma. And
is that hibiscus
like nobody,
bush
I mean,
outside
nobody
your
came
window?
in, no one went into his hospital.
Mm-hmm.
They got there because of a piece of newspaper that blew up in the side of their leg. And I don't care what any of the doctors are saying. No one in that whole big hospital was there that didn't have an antecedent. That was a big phrase of his. There's always an antecedent. You can always find out how this started. So,
is that when you realize? I'm asking, is that hibiscus plant outside your window?
Outside the window of the kitchen.
The kitchen, okay.
Where I was stabbed, and he, yeah.
Wait, she stabbed you?
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Where?
In the tongue.
What? For what?
I think that's just where she was starting. She was just starting there. She was going to go much further, but she was interrupted by Merdus.
Wait, you're talking about your mom?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant Merdus.
No.
Oh, the whole time I'm thinking Merdus.
No, we're talking about
your mom was
the pillar of the
stabbing
church,
you, injuring you.
Yeah.
Do you think that's also why, or maybe is that also why you chose cutting too? To
1,000%.
The stab. Wow.
And she used a serrated steak knife.
She did.
Mm-hmm.
So Merdus saw this and stopped it. That's why Merdus is no longer here.
Yes.
I see. So how long does that go on?
My father came home and freaked. And I guess Merdus told him what happened or whatever. He freaked. And he believed he had everything he had to institutionalize her, which he did.
And did that happen?
Yes.
It did.
Mm-hmm.
When?
I guess I was 4 when this happened, 4.5, something like that.
Hey, wow.
5,
so
4.5
you don't
or 5.
remember any of that then?
No, I just remembered that she was gone and that Merdus was still there. But then when she came back, Merdus left. And someone ended up stabbing her.
Stabbing your mom?
Merdus.
Merdus?
Yeah, she was stabbed by somebody.
She lived?
I think so. I didn't hear that she died. And there was a time when I was with these guys. I knew all these FBI guys and stuff through NBC because I had death threats over there.
Oh, why? Imitating presidents and shit?
Yeah.
You're getting death threats for that?
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
Like real sophisticated stuff. Yeah. I mean, we can get to that one if you want to. I don't know how much time we have left.
We got plenty of time. But I want to go back real quick to this. So when does your mom re-enter your life then? What age are you when she's...
Maybe when she re-enters around 6 or 7 or something like that.
And then she's fine? Or she's still doing
I don't think she's fine because she this is someone who's the pillar of the church, who can quote scripture better than anyone you've ever heard of. Monsters... I'll tell you the theme of the show, the basic things. And one of them is that real monsters hide in the light. Mm-hmm. They do their work in the dark, but in the light, they have a narrative and they put on a show so that everyone believes it. They got to get people to believe stuff. And she maybe she enjoyed the Bible. Maybe she was a bifurcated personality. I mean, but she could quote scripture. The other thing about my mother is that she could do impressions. She would do impressions of the neighbors. And so I did my first impressions with her, Porky Pig. And it was a good way to keep her happy so that she didn't get She used to have this vacant stare. Let me get my glasses so I can do this for you. She used to have this vacant stare. And, you know, she's flitting around and she's talking to people. Oh, I love your hair. I love you so much. God loves you. God ain't broke. Don't you worry about your debt and the fact that you lost your job because God ain't broke. Okay? I never heard of no one in our church that give his life to God. God ain't broke. God ain't broke. She's the kind of person that could walk up to a person and tap them on the shoulder and go, I like to see you.
And this lady's stabbing your tongue.
Just once.
Well, thank God only once. And then the state of Florida lets her out and back around her children?
Mm-hmm.
Did she ever hurt your sister?
We don't know. My sister...
Are you close enough that you've talked about this sort of thing with
my
her?
sister and I have never really talked about it. I know my sister beat her up one time. But no, we ever talked about it, you know. That's why I didn't include her in the book or in, you know, God, if you're not up there, I'm fucked.
Let's see your mom stare.
HarperCollins. I didn't include my sister in all of that because she doesn't want it to be, you know.
You gonna do mom stare?
Oh, yeah. There was two. One was like she'd be sitting at the window, she'd be at the window smoking. And then
inside.
Huh?
Inside smoking back. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the windows are open.
Yeah.
You know, she's smoking. Maybe I have to take my glasses off so you can see it better. She's smoking. And then she would turn and look at me like she was trying to figure out the plot in the movie. What am I going to do with you? That kind of feeling. And the other one was this one. Ready for this? Wait. Like that. Walking through the room looking at you.
Oh, moving and walking through, looking at you that's like a zombie.
Looking at you. Like, what was that? Like, I have a photo of Squeaky Fromm that she's doing the same thing. She's smiling, like.
That one of the Manson girls?
Yeah. She's smiling, but she's got those eyes. And you can tell that she's already made up her mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what that look is sort of like.
Man.
I've already made up my mind. Something's going to happen to you.
So how does that fucking affect you at 50? Like, how does that hit you? And is your mom gone at that point? Is she passed at that point? When you find out, when you connect all these dots?
She passed a little before that she had passed before we figured the whole thing out. But she knew, because I reached a point where I was going to tell the whole world no matter what. Because here's the thing, the crime is a bad enough crime. The greater crime to me is that they expect you not to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the contract 101 between perp and victim. If you do talk about it, it's going to be much worse. Are we clear? So you're going to let me come in here and do shit to you. And you're going to act like I'm not doing shit to you. Okay? Or I'll make it a lot worse. That's the contract. And of course, then too, you know, when you're young, you will fight the world. You will be a fist fight. You'll get in a fist fight with the galaxy if they try to convince you that your mom doesn't love you or your parents don't love you. Right? You'll do anything. It will drive you crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to even think of anything like that. We don't think of thoughts as radioactive or nuclear or that poisonous, but they are. To really have that, I'm not loved. could make you pretty sick.
So 3 months you spend there, is that right? You said 3 months?
Yeah.
And when do you have to, I have to ask you this, you said the state took away your keys. So do you have to be released by the state, by this doctor?
I had to be released by the doctor.
And when did he feel comfortable enough to say, hey, we figured enough out, you can move forward with this?
He figured it out because he had put me through this process that manipulated me through a process in which I could feel pity for my mother. And he was like, nothing frees you from your perpetrator any better than a little sympathy for the devil. Like I felt pity and fear for her. It's a long involved story with a series of nightmares and dreams and all of that, but that's what happened. He could tell, and for my whole life, I know that I heard a ringing, a kind of ringing. Like when I would get really afraid, there would be kind of a ringing, and nothing could get and it's not tinnitus or whatever they call that. It's just and what had happened was the ringing stopped.
It did.
Yeah.
What about the boom, boom, boom?
All stopped.
All of it. Did you ever put together what the knock was? You got the hibiscus, the window, kitchen.
The Atlantic Ocean was blowing the hibiscus bush against the window. That was the knock knock.
Damn. Was there any more abuse? Like, was she physical after that, or did she stop, or do you not remember?
Well, I certainly don't remember it if she was, you know. But she did.
What did you find in sympathy? What did you say? All right,
because for her to do that to me, someone had to do something just as horrible to her.
I was going to ask you. I wonder what happened to this lady.
This is the other part of the sort of manifesto, and that is monsters aren't born; they're created. You know, in order to be a monster, you first have to be a monster's victim.
Yeah,
and
that's a great fucking point.
Yeah, that's set well. In order to be a monster, you first have to be a monster's victim.
Yeah, that's the truth.
I mean, this cat was out of this. He was out there.
So he releases you. You're obviously clean and sober.
Oh, yeah, that was like a big deal to me. How did it was, I gained a bunch of weight and a bunch of time had gone by, and he came to me and said, you know, we're going to have to put you on a diet. We want you to be a diabetic. You've gained so much weight, because I was eating a lot of sugar. And then he said, oh, and, you know, I have something else for you. And I'm like, what? And he's like, your keys. I'm like, like my keys. I have keys again. I have keys again. You know what I mean?
And a place to go, too. That's nice. You're not being let out of this hospital and now you got to bum a couch or whatever. You got a home.
And, you know, I get back to my apartment in New York City, and it's nice-ish. You know, it's modest 1 bedroom, but I loved it. You get back into your building and you walk in, and the doorman's going, hey, Mr. Hammond, where you been? See what the Yankees did last night? That fucking Sabathia's overweight. That's all I'm saying. They say that man eats 10 bowls of Captain Crunch a day. I say he could eat a few less. He's a little overweight, that guy. He's a little rotund. I'm like, yeah. Like, well, anyway, I don't know where you've been, but, you know, it's nice to have you back. You know, and I'm like, how can they be acting like nothing happened?
I just had a whole journey.
I've been on an odyssey to the other side, and they're just doing their thing and all that.
And is that the moment you go clean and sober? Obviously, you're in there for 3 months.
I went clean and sober a bunch of times.
You did.
And drank again, yeah. 4 years, 3 years, 5 years.
No more self-harm, though?
I didn't do self-harm until I had a period there in my 30s when I was really starting 12-step programs. I didn't do anything like that. So I had like 5 years and 7 months. And my sponsee committed suicide, and then I got drunk, and
Jeez.
yeah.
Man, I'm sorry.
But yeah.
So how's life been since?
And what?
I mean, now that you're armed with the knowledge of what this was, how's it changed you? Do you feel different? Like, do you feel, I don't know, do you feel whole? Do you feel like at least this mystery has been solved and you can move forward peacefully upstairs? You know, how are you sleeping? How do you go about your days? Are you a glass half full guy now, or is anything shifted?
I get up in the morning and I do cognitive therapy exercise. Might just be a little thing like, exercises out of the book Feeling Good, exercises out of the book Learned Optimist.
I do the 5-minute gratitude journal every morning. I do like that. I like that.
So that my brain doesn't have time to start its dun, 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 dun. Because my brain wants to catch a perp. That's what it does. It wants to catch a perp.
Mm-hmm.
So it starts creating these perps like, well, this guy must be that, or that girl must be that, or this must be that. And pretty soon I can feel in danger. And so I do the cognitive therapy, and I'm going to say 5 days a week I do yoga.
Okay. And are you able to sit mentally quiet enough with your thoughts in something like yoga? It's always struggle for me.
Well, no, but when I meditate, sometimes I get that. Sometimes. When I'm hanging out with people that are like me, you've heard the, connection is the antidote to addiction. But when I have that law of mutuality that Hindus spoke of 25 million years ago, a shared experience can bring us health that living alone we cannot get. When I have that, so there are times, when I have a peace, and I have to work for it. Not all the time, but it does happen. Once in a while, swear to God. Once in a while, I feel pretty good.
You do?
Once in a while.
I hear you.
I'm out with my friends having dinner. Hey, we did a show with Leno and Arsenio and Margaret Cho the other night. That was great. It was fun.
Do you allow yourself in the moment to think of that?
I couldn't help myself. It was one of those nights.
Yeah. Good for you.
When the room, these guys are rocking it, and and I was able to hold my own, which I was worried about. It was a great night of comedy. I felt really good that night. Then my friend Christy was there, and we went to swingers and felt good. So it happens sometimes. But
listen, this has been a very powerful, great episode. You've dropped a lot of knowledge on here.
I have to tell you.
You can keep going if you want.
No, all right. That's an hour. That's good. If I ever do
Will
it
you
again,
come back?
Yeah, I want to tell you the Mafia story, for God's sake.
How long is it?
Probably 90 seconds.
Tell it. And then I'll tell you what. Tell the Mafia story. Then I'm going to ask you advice you'd give to 16-year-old Darrell Hammond after everything we've talked about, and we'll wrap it up. Hit me with a Mafia story. I ask you because we just had Sammy the Bull Gravano on here, so I would love to hear a Mafia story.
Okay. So I was put in jail in the Caribbean. That's how I wrote the book, God, If You're Not Up There, I'm Fucked. I was in jail, and that was the only prayer that I could come up with. Because the Caribbean jail is a really scary place.
What are you in there for?
Controlled possession of a controlled substance. And I got off with a fine because it was just infinite. It was like putting Sweeteno on the table. It might have been Sweeteno. I was so drunk I couldn't fucking tell. I never actually did the blow. I was just like, okay. Someone was trying to sell me blow, and I was like, okay. I'd had a lot of golden rum that night, and I was trashed out of my mind. So I was like, okay, all right. Anyway, I got arrested and went to jail. My father came down with cash, and they let me off for cash.
How old are you?
Shit. 30s.
Okay.
My 30s. Okay, so I went back to the States, and I was mad at them. I was mad. I felt like I'd been set up. Others felt the same way. that I was part of a scam, find a drunk tourister, and ask him if he wants a little Coke. Just a sample. You want a sample? You're going to get one drunk enough to say okay, and then you bust them after that. So I was incensed. So I got back to New York City. One night I did a show at Dangerfields in New York, and I was drinking rum again, of course. And it occurred to me, there was a very famous gangster that had a social club on Mulberry Street, and everyone knew he hung out there, and he was real famous. It occurred to me that, you know how the drunker you get, the more right you think you are, right? And the angrier you get, the more right you think you are, and you're drinking rum and shit. And I was drinking rum, and I get in a cab. My feet, I don't even know if I was telling my feet to do it, but my feet walked me to a cab, and I heard my voice say, the so-and-so social club on Mulberry Street. He's like, you sure you want to hear it?
Yeah.
You sure you're all right? You need it? I'm like, oh, no problem. So I went down there. I was going to ask them, I was going to join. I was like, can I join you guys? Can I be part of your group? There's somebody I really want to kill.
You're just coming in saying that shit.
You know, and we get there. That was what I was going to say. Now, it became a blur after that because there were a bunch of men standing on the sidewalk, and I walked up and I waded in with my bitch, and it got all blurry after that, and I probably had some sort of blackout or something. And I woke up the next morning on a pile of sand behind the social club.
Nuh-uh.
Yes, I woke up on a pile of sand, and my shirt was covered in red. And I touched it because it didn't look like blood that much, and I tasted it, and it was marinara sauce. Apparently, I'd eaten well.
You went to kill somebody and you fucking pass out. You wake up outside on a mountain of sand covered in marinara.
Give the guy some the scongili. Give him something to eat.
Throw him out back.
Put him out back on the sand pile. Yeah, on the sand pile.
You put your ass out back.
Yeah.
All right, let me ask, we'll wrap up on advice that you'd give to 16-year-old Darrell Hammond. What would you say to 16-year-old Darrell Hammond? I'm curious because you don't find out a lot for, 34 more fucking years.
I don't know what. What can you say? What would I say? You know? Go see a shrink?
Yeah.
I think what I would want to tell him is, you're going to meet 5 American presidents. 5 men, presidents of the United States, would call you by your first name. Hold on.
That's awesome. I got to ask you, both Bushes, Clinton, Obama,
Trump.
And Trump. You did meet Trump. That's great. Thank you so much. This was an awesome episode. I really appreciate you doing this. One more time, please promote Cray.
Cray is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest meets The King's Speech at Saturday Night Live. Was that accurate?
That's 100% accurate. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for thinking of me.
You got it. As always, Ryan Sickler on all your social media. We'll talk to y'all next week.